What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. It's week 3, guys, of our fantasy basketball season, and welcome to another quickie with your host JJT and with commish. Commish, week 3. Still
week 3.
Early. Still. Is it
Still
still
early.
At this point?
Not even 1/16th of the season, maybe.
Just
1/8 of the
Maybe
season.
just a little bonus or maybe something that different we can talk about. If you, let's say, lost your past 2 weeks. Let's say you're in the 14th place right now. What should you do? 14th, 13th place. I mean, maybe 2-3-6 losses or maybe a 2-7 loss. What should you do?
Well, I experienced that last year in our Champions League. I was like that. I was 2-7 and 2-7. I think 4-14. I think the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Although I ended up 12th out of 14 in that league. But at that time, I was assessing why I was 2-7. So that's important. If you see that it's because of injuries, then maybe your team is not really weak. So at least you're not that worried. You have to assess the injuries if it's gonna take longer or not. Maybe try to trade some of them. Just try to have a fighting chance. Then what I wanted to do then was really, as much as possible, win every week. After that, even if just 5-4, slowly. You have to be patient. But
if it's not about injuries,
you have to be active in trade talks. You really have to be active. If it's not injuries, like last year, I made 3 or 4 trades after that week 2 loss. Because I was really 4-14, and then the week 3, I think I also lost. So really, it was a bad 3 weeks. But I traded and traded and traded and traded. Sometimes correct trades, sometimes not correct. But I had to do something. And one thing I can tell you, if you're already down big, you really have to do some punting already.
Mm-hmm.
I feel if you're down, I'm not saying that you have to punt before the season starts or whatever, but when you're already down, I'll try to concentrate on 5 categories or 6 categories to be strong, so that you'll not be 2-7, 3-6, 1-8. I don't know if that's logical to you.
Yeah. Well,
right? I mean,
true. Just look for stats that's the I guess the easiest way, because trading is really not as easy, especially in a very competitive league.
True.
Wherein managers drafted well, and most likely, if it's not because of injuries, maybe the players you expected to perform did not perform. That would also mean that some of the managers above you drafted pretty well enough that they don't want to make that many changes in the roster. So the fastest way is to see what stat are you winning or could you win, and then work around that instead of doing a major overhaul. Last year in one of our leagues, I couldn't say I'm the last, but I had some losses early on, and I just overhauled my team. Like, I had Giannis there, changed my first round pick, and then just rebuild around that. But that was easy to do because the managers there were really open to trade.
Yes. That you have to look at what your league is also. Your competitors, how are they? Are they open to trading? Or you look at the league in the first 2 weeks, have there been trades? If it's been quiet, not much activities,
most likely there's not much traders there in the league.
But you have to trade. So what do you do? So sometimes you have to make moves or trades that will be a little not in your favor, but because you're punting, you can do that. I had 1 year in our league with Jeremy way before, 7 years ago, where I was really down in the standings. What I did was decided to suddenly punt points. That's what I did. Because when I punted points, I picked up players. At that time, it was still like Chuck Hayes. That I mean, those kinds of players before that did not really score a lot but had other stats.
Yeah.
That helped me get trades because some managers like Matisse Tybul, for
Yep.
instance.
Yeah, I was just about to say this
Right?
is where players like Matisse Tybul can help you. Like if you see that I'm really not good in scoring or points or threes, but I always have a fighting chance in steals and blocks. I just couldn't get over the hump. Then players like Matisse Tybul can be picked up instead of Eric Gordon, for example, who's a hotter free agent overall, right? But
And
yeah, you can
in general, if you have a low scoring team, your turnover should be a
low.
little better. Yeah, a
Yeah.
little better. Then you get the steals, blocks, turnovers. Then I'll just hope for field goal and free throw. Something like that.
I mean, the free throw somehow you can assess if it's a matchup thing, right? There could be some teams that will beat you in free throws, but there could be some teams that would most likely lose to you in free throws. And the field goals is pretty much the same, right? You still really don't know. But generally, you would hope that you have high field goal and high free throws in percentages so that you can beat majority of the teams.
And another tip, do not look at the standings as in like what place you are. Just look at your standing yourself. I mean, don't look at the whole standings. Just let's say you're 414, then your target will be to get to 500 to like an even record by certain week, like week 8, week 9, or week 10 even. I want to be in 500 mark already. Right now, you're 10 games behind 500 because you're 414. So your target is week by week, just little by little. That way you will not be too impatient and too panicky. Just do it 1 week at a time. Just make us a goal. That's my target always, to be at around 500 mark by week around 11 or 12. I'm at the 500 mark and I'm okay. Because there's still 5-6 weeks that I can move above that. And if I move a little above that, sometimes more or less, you'll make the playoffs. More or less.
Yeah. So again, if you feel that your team is not good enough against the competition, maybe it's time to start making some moves.
Yes.
You can start with some subtle trades, smaller trades, and if you really want to overhaul your team, you can do that. I think it's easier sometimes to overhaul everything because the first round picks are easier to trade, right? I mean, sometimes they're easier to trade in the sense that I have my first round pick. Maybe I can try to, and he's the only one performing. Maybe I can do a 2-for-1 so that my depth can be better, right?
Yes, you can do that if you're in that sense. You have to punt if you trade your first round pick and just get 2 players who are good at the categories you want to be good at.
Because another problem sometimes managers have is that there are certain players that are good in their lineup, in their team. There are players that are performing well, but there are a lot more players who are not really rosterable type of players, or you probably would just drop, but since you cannot pick up anyone better, you probably just keep them, right? It's a depth issue sometimes.
I have that problem in our Champions League right now. I'll be bottom again soon. I have Kristaps, Noel, I have Siakam, I have Brogdon. So actually, basically, I'm 1-8 this week. I can't make a lot of moves,
but that's injury.
But still, it's tough. It's tough because like I have, and then the remaining players I have are, let's say, SGA. Although he played well today, but not really someone who has a very strong like assists. Maybe strong in a category that will help me. Zubac has been terrible so far. Steven Adams has been struggling. That we'll be talking about later. So my team there is a mess right now. I've been trying to do trades, but so far nothing has materialized. But let's see.
It's a conservative group.
It is. It looks like a conservative group.
It looks like a conservative group. And just, having played with a lot of those players there, I could only name very few who are really willing to trade.
Yeah.
And
true.
Since this is a money league, unlike before where we had the free league, I don't think people are willing to trade just for the sake of trading or experiment on lineups, right? They probably want to be a little more conservative. So yeah, those are some of the tips or things that you can do if you see yourself at the bottom of the standings. Just try to make some moves already, so that assess and try to make some moves already. So it won't be too late. Later on, it's week 6, 7, and then you realize you want to make some moves, but you're dead last, and that's gonna be really difficult to pull off, especially if you have if you don't if your playoff starts earlier, right? So there. Now let's move on to some updates, injury updates. COVID has hit uh, certain players, three actually: Tobias, Chris Middleton, and Kevin Love, uh, all under health and COVID protocols.
And all were actually, for Tobias and Kevin Love, they were ruled out already for the next 3 games.
Yeah.
So usually in that case, possibly they're tested positive. So then I think they were vaccinated. So maybe 10 days at least. So you probably miss them the whole week, and then probably part of next week also. So you have to be ready for that. Kevin Love, I think, since he's not really that important of a player, you can drop him. Especially if you have a lot of injuries. Especially if you have a lot of injuries, you can drop him, because unless you have an IL plus an IL that is open, you have to move on. You cannot just hold the player like that right now.
Also, another tip: so if you have an IL plus, you can put them in your IL plus and then add another player. I think another tip I've learned by using IL plus more this year is that when you have a player who is lifted from that IL plus, like they will play already, right? They were GTD yesterday or the past few games, and then now they're gonna play. My tip is, do not drop immediately a player. And wait. Maybe you can wait another day wherein another player would be in GTD, and then just switch them or flip them.
If it's a weak, not a strong player, maybe you can do that. Unless it's your first rounder. Unless if it's your first or second round.
Your team can take it. If your team can take it.
Yeah.
If your team can take it, you can do that instead of dropping the player you just added, and then maybe he'll be useful later on, right? So anyway, Zion is out another 2-3 weeks at least.
I think it's a month. 2 to 3 weeks, because they had the scan, MRI. Better news, but still far off. He's 300 pounds supposedly already. Supposedly 300 pounds. If you're 300 pounds, I don't know how fast you can get to game shape. So I will give it 1 month conservatively. I'll give it 1 month conservatively.
Yeah, that's the challenge. I think more than the injury, it's the weight that's going to be a challenge for Zion.
It's a disaster, guys. Those who picked Zion this year, in for a long year. I could tell you. Even if he comes back, don't be too happy, because 300 pounds. That's something else.
And the way he moved, I saw the video.
And he's obviously not happy in New Orleans. He's obviously unhappy. He obviously wants out. But
come
so
on,
far,
it's he wants injury.
Out.
He's pulling off a James Harden.
No, he's not pulling a James Harden. He's not 300 pounds. He's not 300 pounds because he wants out. But there's just not. He's not as motivated, I guess, to show the best Zion, because he has already said that he's not in good terms with the management of the Pelicans. So he will ask for a trade sometime, but I don't know when it is. Timing is key, but that's a problem. That's why I think it's a problem this year if you own Zion.
No, I think this guy's gonna be a problem every year. Zion, not a big fan, so don't take my word for it. But yeah, Malcolm Brogdon still out with hamstring injury. Hopefully a couple more games.
Probably.
I think he's been moved up to questionable, I think.
Yes, he's been shooting in their shoot-arounds, but I think this week might be a long shot. If you get 1 game from him this week, you should be happy. Yeah. Same with Kristaps. He's also been questionable, but doesn't look like he's near playing.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. And then the last two, I think, is who? Brook
Nerlens
and
and Brook Lopez. They haven't played a game. There's
Brook has
really
played the
no.
game.
Oh, Brook has played. Yeah, the first game, right?
Yeah.
Nerlens hasn't played a game, right?
Yes, always. Yeah, never. Not yet. Not even the preseason. It's always been said it's close, it's close, it's close, it's close. Questionable, questionable, questionable. And then before the game is going to be ruled out. It's annoying already. And it's not really that big of a deal already, in my opinion. So right now, in as I said, I have him in Champions League also. I forgot to say that. Yes, he's also in my Champions League. So right now, I'm thinking I might drop him soon. I might drop him soon.
And of course, Mitch Robinson's still playing, so
There's Taj Gibson.
There's still Taj Gibson, Tibbs' favorite, so that caps his upside a bit. So yeah, still no news there. Brook.
Last tip, guys. A manager of ours knows that I have a lot of injuries, and he offered me deals, and then he messaged me that I saw this, I see this. So he was offering,
In Champions League.
Champions League. Of course, it's lopsided in his advantage because he knows I'm desperate. But yeah, sometimes you can do that. Sometimes you can do that.
Just,
you can
there's
take advantage.
no harm in trying. I mean,
Take
take
advantage.
advantage might be too strong for it, but yeah, you can try.
Yeah.
Of course, you can always try. Feel good. Let's talk about the worry players first. Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward.
Bad today.
Yes, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Since Rozier has been back, he's been kind of lackluster. He had 0 assists yesterday when Rozier came back. The other day, yes, 0 assists.
I've been watching some Hornets games because I have some Miles Bridges and I wanted to see the impact of Rozier to their game, and the facilitating has revolved around LaMelo, Ish Smith, Miles at times, and doesn't really involve too much of Gordon Hayward running some plays. You take a shot or two here and there, but yeah, there's not.
His usage rate has dropped the past 2 games with Rozier there, so that's a worry for me. Plus, he's not really that durable. Also, it's a matter of time before he gets either a hamstring, a quad, or whatever. Then little knickknacks of injuries there here and there. So that's why I think he's trending down with Rozier there. We were afraid of. Let's talk about Miles a little. With Rozier today, he had not had a good shooting day, Miles, but we should not be worried because he had 18 attempts, I think.
He did.
So
actually,
that's still good.
I'm worried about the field goals because he's been attempting some, some of the shots are not really good wide open shots, right?
Heat check, man. Heat check. He's hot.
He's not really taking good shots, or sometimes it's really not within the offense, or less dunks, less layups, right? But
he's so good. So
there are other stats there.
Yes.
It's the silver lining. I mean, 8 rebounds, 9 assists today, I think.
Yes.
And then
the other day, 9 assists. Today I don't think he had 9 assists. Today he had more stocks. He had, I think, 3 blocks or
I think he had 8
steals.
today. He had 8 assists.
He did? I didn't see the assists. But I saw the stocks and I saw the shooting. So regardless with Miles, it's important to see that he's diversifying the stats, because he's been known to be not that good with steals, with blocks. Today. So
9 rebounds, 8 assists.
And that's a second straight day that he had a lot of assists. 9 assists the other day, 8 assists today. So so that's important for his value, because if he does this, even if he doesn't shoot well, or even if Rozier gets a lot of points, he can still be top 50, even top 40 if he continues this.
Yeah. And then another. Oh no, this is a different player. All right, so other worry players, Jaden McDaniels.
Do you have him? I think you have him. You have him, right?
Yeah, I dropped.
Or did you drop him?
I dropped some of him. If I see someone I could, probably roster for a longer period of time, I'll pick that up and drop Jaden.
Yes,
I just
yes.
don't drop him immediately because my team is somehow built on more blocks. So, and I don't have really the good like the Go Bears. So I have the White Sides, I have the McDaniels. So those secondary guys who can block. So I need those types of players. So I don't just drop him altogether.
What we suggest here are, in general, hold or drop. But you have also to look in your own situation, own scenarios, if there are players that you can add. So like McDaniels, in general, for me, is already a drop. In general. But if you're gonna pick up someone like a very low end player like an Ishmit maybe to replace him, I'd rather hold on to Jaden McDaniels, right?
Yep.
So it depends also. But in general, if it's standard leagues, it's a drop. In 12-team leagues, it's already a drop. So not enough there. Just not enough stats.
The only thing I'm worried about right now is the minutes because lately he's been the minutes have gone down a bit.
For Jaden, yes.
Yeah, for Jaden. So that's what I'm observing now, how the minutes are. But again, if there are really good free agents there, I'll probably drop him already.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that my team is not as strong. So I'm trying to somehow be competitive in the blocks, in the steals, those stats that I can probably win, even if it's through luck. Right.
Yeah.
So Jaden McDaniels, Reggie Jackson, and Eric Bledsoe after a strong start is back to okay or the Bledsoe of old.
I've gotten a lot of questions about Bledsoe, whether you can drop
he's
him
been
already.
dropped in some of the leagues.
Yeah, he's been dropped. I was so desperate in Champions League, I picked him up there. But if I had better options, I would have dropped him also already. I told people before when the Golden State game where he played so well, I said that was a special situation because he was guarding Steph and they had special things there that helped him. But overall, we're really down on Eric Bledsoe. I think his fantasy glory days are gone. So I think he's worth a drop already. If you want to stream him sometimes when the Clippers have quality games, I think that's okay because he still can give you some defensive stat. Today he had 2 blocks. Sometimes he has 2 or 3 steals. So he can still give you that here and there. So he's more of a plug player, when you need a certain stats, but he's not a must every game rostered player, So he's okay to drop.
A player many thought would, have a better fantasy value this year is Reggie Jackson, but so far.
Did you buy the playoff performance? I mean, that's
no,
so. That's so right. Obviously, fluke.
Yeah, it's kind of fluky. I'm not a big Reggie Jackson fan in terms of fantasy. I don't think it was a good. If he's picked, he was picked around
130, 120, 130.
Yeah. I think at 130, there's still a lot of players that can contribute a lot more here.
Yeah.
So
and last
Reggie
year
Jackson is Reggie Jackson. I mean, guy is a veteran, right? I mean,
but last year in the playoffs, he was making everything, like the 3-pointers, and he looked like.
But
he looked like
regular
Dave Lillard.
season, he didn't really do much. So.
Exactly. So a lot of people actually remembered that playoff performance because how can you not, right? He was so really so good.
And really, that's valid. That's quite valid. I mean, Paul George was great during the playoffs. I mean, although of course it's on a different level or
different talent
level, or but yeah, it can happen, right? But my thought is Reggie Jackson is Reggie Jackson. We all know what we can get from Reggie Jackson. I don't think it can change overnight.
Although
Bledsoe, on the other hand, is a different story for me because I know Bledsoe can give a lot more in the sense that, after the first game, I was a little more hopeful that he'll be able to sustain it and give you some steals, some blocks, some rebounding, some assists, right? He can give you all these things. That's probably better for me than just Reggie Jackson who could give you threes and scoring and a little assist.
In fairness to Reggie Jackson, I think in 14-team leagues, he's still a hold. because even if he doesn't shoot well, by the fact that there's no Kawhi, there's no Marcus Morris, they would need him. So he would really have the ball in his hands a lot of times. So he would, like today, he had a terrible game, but he had 15 points, I think 4 rebounds, 4 assists. So, I mean, there's still value there. Although he probably killed your field goals, but, still, at least he gives you something else in the other stats.
Yeah. Steven Adams, after a strong start, has slowly trended down and maybe could fall back to the 150 range.
Possibly. I think that's where he will be headed eventually. Kyle Anderson has been playing much more at the power forward position together with Jaren Jackson Jr. So it's not even Xavier Tillman who's actually a problem in Memphis. It's the fact that they're playing small. They're going small. So that is a concern. Because if it's Xavier Tillman, I think Steven Adams can hold off Xavier Tillman. Really, eventually, he's a better player at this point. But if it's the system, the scheme, the strategy, then he can't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
But he's not a drop. But not the 5 assists a game. Remember when he started the 5-6 assists and then 15 rebounds, 13 rebounds. He's back to Steven Adams of old. He's back to the OKC Steven Adams.
Yeah, and more worrying player is Zubac. I've been getting lots of Zubac questions or managers asking thoughts about Zubac.
Similar to Adams. Clippers played small a while ago. And actually, the past few games, they've been playing small with Man, Batum.
But Zubac hasn't had any, or at least not really, hasn't had really a game wherein
he has played well.
Say that, he has played well, or I should be holding to Zubac because he's just struggling right now.
I'm more worried about the Isaiah Hartenstein thing because he played better with Zubac. Before there was no Hartenstein, the Clippers usually have 18 to 20 minutes they play Zubac. That's when they play big.
Yeah.
Because they play big, they play small, they play big, they play small. When they play big, it's Zubac. And remember, Serge Ibaka is not yet there.
Yeah.
So when Serge comes back, I don't know what will happen already to Zubac's value. So,
but I think in fairness to Zubac has been in every year there's been a time where Zubac has been dropped, right?
Yeah,
you pick this guy, most likely he'll drop him eventually. I mean, Zubac has been seen as a streamer, more of a higher end streamer type of player.
And he's another player who was unfairly boosted by the playoffs. I think he's usually, that's why you get a lot of questions.
But in fairness to him, he has been solid during the regular season.
I mean, that's why you're getting a lot of questions because before he was solid. He had 8 points, 8 rebounds, he had 1.5 blocks. But usually you get him out of the waiver wire. You don't draft him, or if you draft him, it was very late. This is the first year I've heard Zubac being drafted and very high, around 110, around 108, 110, even at the range of Bamba. So that's why you're getting questions because people drafted this guy. It's tougher to draft him.
I think the reason why people drafted him a lot more this year is because of the center issues that the drafts had.
There's no way. Oh well,
not much centers, right?
But that's every year. That's every year. I think they were really thinking that there's no Kawhi. Maybe Zubac could get some more value. Last year playoffs he looked good. I mean. The playoff effect is very big because people watch the playoff.
Yeah.
They watch almost every game. So they will see, hey, this guy's good. Why is this guy not getting a lot more minutes? He's solid. He shoots well.
But Zubac in the regular season has also always been a good efficiency guy.
Usually.
With rebounds and blocks. But I think Eric's right. He's been drafted way too early this year, unlike last year, wherein if you drop him, it's really not a big deal. But
you might need to drop him right now.
Yeah, the chances are you might need to drop. He doesn't really get consistent minutes, even in previous years. But in previous years, he's had really good games, a double games. Right, and he's had those types of games.
And his free throw was better before. He doesn't get you a lot of minutes.
That's also another thing I was just about to say. His free throws have been not good.
Down. Yeah, it's been down. I guess
Although a lot of players' free throws have been down. Really.
yeah,
this year.
I think I heard Paul George talk about the ball. It's not Spalding, it's Wilson. So he said it's different feel. So maybe that is also a factor. Maybe that's a factor in the shooting problems of players. But whatever it is, still not good, because if you're not giving me rebounds, you're not giving me anything else, and then you're killing my free throws. I mean,
like,
goodbye.
Whatever it is, that's not our problem. Fantasy managers would say,
yeah,
that's your problem. But if you can't, just all we want is for you to shoot that ball. Yeah, that wraps up the worry players. Some of the buy players after today, the Philly boys, Niang has been picked up in a lot of leagues. I think he's one of the top ads
today. Yes.
Yeah, because of the Danny Green injury.
Any and Tobias.
And Tobias. Aside from, maybe I just would segue, since we're talking about the Philly boys, Drummond is another guy who has played well because Embiid is out.
Yes, rest. Yep. Only a rest day. The good news is the MRI was clean, no structural problems. It's just sore. But Drummond today was phenomenal. Seven
it was classic steals. Drummond, right? It was classic Drummond. I mean, don't watch the game. He'll wow you with, those stats.
You know, I wonder if they're gonna play Drummond and Embiid together. That's in my mind. I let's see, because I think that's possible. I really think it's possible, because now that they lost Tobias, they lost Danny Green, they're probably gonna start Tybul. Mm-hmm. They're probably gonna start Tybul. So Niang would be off the bench, but if Niang is a low end player, he shoots threes. That's it. But if they might experiment with the Embiid Drummond situation. Let's see. Embiid can shoot from outside, so that's possible. So the Drummond is trending up.
So are you saying that Andre Drummond, they're replacing Ben Simmons with a bigger Ben Simmons?
Yeah. Ben Simmons who actually will try to shoot, even if he cannot shoot also.
Even if he knows he cannot shoot.
He will still shoot. So they like that. They like that about Drummond. Aside from Niang, I think Korkmaz is a good ad. Korkmaz is a good ad because we talked about the Tobias effect. Now there's a Danny Green effect. Danny Green will be out. So Korkmaz started today. I think he can start again the next game. So if you need threes, you need points, Korkmaz might be your guy.
And over Middleton. They give more usage to Seth Curry, because I have some Seth Currys out there.
Seth Curry had a great game today.
Tyrese Maxey, for those managers
and
who
Shake
had...
Milton. And Shake Milton.
So I think those players should be worth... I think Maxey and Seth Curry are already rostered. Shake Milton, I think you still have to see what happens in the rotation.
But he's an okay. He's an okay ad.
Yeah. So, they're the Philly boys. Luke Kennard and Nick Batum of the Clippers, two lower end ads.
Kennard should not be available in your leagues if you're in a 14-team league at least. 12-team, yes, maybe. He's more of a streamer kind. But as we said, Bledsoe, Jackson, terrible. They need shooters. Badly need shooters.
And they're losing. I mean, they won today, but again, they're struggling. They're not the Clippers that we feel, and we were thinking like, kind of like a playoff contending Clippers.
And who's their backup point guard? It's Kennard. Kennard has been playing some backup point guard also. And then sometimes if, Bledsoe is struggling, they keep him there with the starters because of his shooting. So 10 3-pointers, I think, the past 2 to 3 games. 30 plus minutes the past 3 games. Yeah, I like Kennard.
And of course, Batum is always been a 9-cat favorite.
Roto, you can pick him up.
Yep. Kem Birch. Let's talk about Boucher for a bit. Boucher had 8 minutes, I think, today.
9 minutes.
Yeah, around 10 minutes. Didn't do much.
And then Achua. Let's talk about the Boucher-Achua thing.
Well, Achua at least had 9 rebounds. I mean, he shot 1 out of 9. He's not shooting well, but yeah.
Achua played 16 minutes. He's 52% owned in Yahoo. That's too much. And that is based only
I'm
on
part
the
of that.
Yeah, that's based on the 15 point, 15 rebound game. I think he had second game of the season. After that, he has killed you in field goal. He has killed you in free throw. For a big man, he's killed you in field goal. And he has done nothing, basically nothing, except some rebounds.
Yep.
So he should be dropped right now. I don't care if he's starting. Look for the minutes. He's 16 minutes today. It's getting less and less and less and less. And actually, I would like it to be less if I own Achua, because he might score 1 out of 9 like he did today.
He
So
did.
Kem Birch is the last man standing there. Nothing special, boring guy, but well, if you need bigs, he's the guy. 31 minutes today.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about Boucher. I don't know what to say about Boucher anymore. He was already at the 18, 19, 17 minutes. Now he goes back to 9 minutes. I don't know what it is. It's so crazy. Whatever with Boucher.
Yeah, well, he is, if you're asking if he's a hold or a drop, well, it's up to you if you can.
Depends on who you will pick up.
Yeah.
He still has the upside. He still has the upside. So if there's a better option, yes. But if there's none, I'll hold on to him.
Anthony Simons.
Yeah, another guy.
Threes, I mean, more of the threes and the points.
Lillard
shooting bad. Still shot bad today.
Yeah, 7 out of 20. Simons is shooting 50% from the field. I don't know what's happening to the world.
I mean, Cole Anthony
has
been red hot. Right? And
yes.
Lillard has been really ice cold. I didn't watch the game, so I didn't know how it happened. But yeah, Anthony Simons.
Anthony is averaging 15, I think.
He's probably like your Eric Gordon in Portland.
Yes, but
kind of like your Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon contributes a little more.
But Eric Gordon that is shooting so well because he's shooting 50%.
Yeah,
Eric Gordon has never done that. I think in a stretch.
Eric Gordon contributes in a few more categories. Simons doesn't do much really.
Yeah.
KCP and Justin Holiday, more of your 3 and D guys. You can add those. And just a quick, maybe we talked about Drummond. Let's talk about Cole Anthony. He looks
good. He looks good.
We always thought Jalen Suggs would be the guy. But Cole Anthony has been really good. Other than the stocks that he can't really produce, but yeah, who's complaining, right?
Cole Anthony, nobody's complaining. My bad. I'm not really a Cole Anthony fan. You guys know that. But I watched him a while ago. He's so confident, the swagger, the step back 3-pointers. I don't know how long this Cole Anthony will last. But if you own him, you just have to ride with him. The rebound, at least, at the very least, for me this year, he gets possible top 100 guy at the very least because the rebounds, the assists, and the threes, even if it's not going to be efficient threes, I think will be there. Those 3 stats will still be there, with or without Fultz.
Yeah, and his partners, Franz Wagner, the rookie. Who
did you see the dunk?
Yeah, I saw it. But yeah, more than the dunk though, he's been, throwing out some really nasty stat lines. For
28 today.
I mean,
28 points.
If I think about it, he's probably the 3rd or 4th best rookie in fantasy right now.
Yeah, I think 3rd.
I mean, behind Mobley and Barnes and
Giddey.
Maybe Giddey and Wagner
Duarte
are quite close. Duarte. Duarte. So maybe 4th or 5th rookie. But definitely top 5 rookie so far in fantasy.
But Okiki got to 20 minutes today. But as I said, I just feel that Wagner is a better player. So I think he's there to stay. And his stat set is more of like a Nicholas Batum, the younger version. All around stats.
Yep.
Nothing really. You say I want
nothing
Wagner
flashy, nothing.
No, I mean I will not say I want Wagner because of the assist. Like I want Scotty Barnes because of the assist. I want Josh Giddey because of assist and assists and rebounds. Barnes has assists for bigs. He has steals. Mobley for the blocks, for the threes for a big man, rebounds like this. But Wagner, you will not have anything you will say. You want Wagner because of what? I don't know, but he just helps everywhere. He has steals, he has blocks, he has threes. One of each. So it's fun to own.
Yeah,
a guy that's really great, really, really looks good.
Yep. And lastly, Giddy, of course. We felt that he can be good. So far, he's been really good. Overall, I think gives great contributions across the board. So, yep. Yeah. And with that, that wraps up our quickie for today. We have other few good players, but I feel that some of these players will be able to talk about in the next episodes. Anyway, or you can check out the write-ups today. All right, so we'll see you again. Good luck on week 3, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.